If you're new to my channel, this is where MAGA comes to talk. And what I'm doing, I'm up early. Watering my hedges. You know, there's a lot of talk in the media. They're just having complete meltdowns over everything Trump, okay? I mean, this is just how it's always going to be with the media, the left, and everyone else, all right? That's not MAGA. They're going to criticize everything Trump does. And what has them upset more than anything is really, and I'm not talking about the politicians. The politicians are crooks. You know, we know how the politicians operate. Everything they do is for the donors, and that's all they care about are the donors. And there's no getting through to them. But the mainstream Democrats, like regular people that are on social media, that are criticizing everything Trump is doing, whether it's getting the fees taken away at the Panama Canal, getting these countries to lower these insane tariffs that they have on our country, using the threat of raising our tariffs, telling Panama that they had better reduce the fees that they charge American flag vessels in the Panama Canal, or the treaty allows us to take the canal back, or we want to buy Greenland, whatever it is. What President Trump is doing is taking a very strong America first position on all these things. And that's what he's supposed to do. He's President of the United States of America. And when you're President of the United States of America, your duty is to the United States of America. Not Panama, not Mexico, not NATO. Really, NATO's a joke now. Not Europe, not Ukraine, not Canada. Your duty is to make life for Americans in the United States of America better, to promote our country. And that's exactly what it is he is doing. You know, he was talking about buying Greenland from Denmark in his first term, and I was reading an article just a little while ago that's in the New York Times today, and if you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm watering the hedges in the front of my house. Sometimes I water them early in the morning because in the Florida sun, you know, water evaporates. So sometimes I do it before I go to bed. Sometimes I do it in the mornings before I go to work. So that's what you're hearing. Hey, there you go. President Trump talking about buying Greenland from Denmark. This article in the New York Times today says he is serious about taking the Panama Canal back and buying Greenland from Denmark. And I know the Prime Minister of Greenland said they're not for sale, but that's not up to the Prime Minister of Greenland. That's up to Denmark. And maybe Greenland is a big expense to Denmark. Maybe Denmark would like to unload Greenland. They'd get a lot of money for it. And I'm sure President Trump would work something out where they would get all kinds of money from Greenland. Basically, all they get from Greenland now, Denmark, I imagine, is a little bit of tax revenue, maybe, from the residents, but it's mainly a tourist trap. Isn't it, Greenland? I know people that have gone to Greenland, have no interest. People love to go to Greenland because it's not green and they have weird weather and weird lighting and everything. I'm going to have to do some weed pulling today. Yeah, it's too dark to do weed pulling, but I'll have to pull some weeds today. Some of my hedges, we had some really, really cold weather here in Florida a couple weeks ago, damaged. Yeah, they have a bunch of rare metals, that's true. Some of my hedges were damaged from our cold weather a couple of weeks ago. So I'm nursing them back to health. I know they say they have a bunch of rare, I don't know how much they're being exploited. I mean, Alaska has all kinds of rare things that the left in this country won't let us exploit. And Denmark, I don't know too much about the politics of Denmark, but if they're anything like the rest of Europe, they're probably not properly exploiting the resources. But it doesn't matter. I mean, everything Trump is doing is about an America first agenda. And rank and file people, like I was saying earlier, like, regular American Democrats that are, on X or on YouTube or somewhere else talking about these things, they just have a very bad habit of thinking being America first is a bad thing. And it's not a bad thing. In fact, America first is a very good thing. One of the neighbor kids coming home at 3:38 in the morning, Christmas Eve. I know it seems a little odd, maybe to a lot of people, to have a president that is putting America first because we're not used to it, But that's all that's going on here, and that's a good thing. Aren't you excited? I'm excited about it. That's what we want. I might have to replace some of these hedges. I'm hoping I don't, but I might have to replace some of them. Some of them were really damaged in the cold weather we had in Florida. Everything I plant is Florida native, but you usually don't have to worry about things, but we had some really, really cold weather a couple weeks ago. Damaged some of them. I don't know if they'll recover. But I hate to replace them because the hedge looks pretty good here. It'll mess up the whole shape of my hedge if I have to replace them. But time will tell. Yeah, I mean, so this bad habit that somehow it's bad for America to be first. The reason a lot of people think that it's bad to put America first is because that's what they're taught in school. That's what they're taught in movies. That's what they're taught in the media. I mean, look at some of these idiots like AOC and Jasmine Crockett. It's amazing how this AOC responded to the pregnancy rumors. She probably started the pregnancy rumors herself. She doesn't get all the attention she used to get, AOC. And narcissists don't like not to be the center of attention, and Jasmine Crockett's taken a lot of attention away from her. But, I mean, you listen to the Democrat members of Congress, they're on the wrong side of everything. There's some things that are not partisan issues, like America first is not a partisan issue. We should all agree that America should be put first. Why shouldn't we? Why are these other countries have what we have? They just have a different economic system, a different form of government, a different type of people, and whatever they're doing doesn't work as well as what we have. Oh, I imagine AOC hates Jasmine Crockett because Jasmine Crockett's getting all the attention. This is the best time to water the hedges. I don't know what my Christmas Eve schedule is like, so I got to get this out of the way. If you do the watering during the day, the Florida sun evaporates all the water, so it's going to be in the 80s today. That's Florida life. Most people don't do this, though. I mean, I'm just up early. I like to do it in the morning. It's relaxing. I can't see them because the lights are off, but, whatever. I can see the outline of the tree, so I know I'm hitting them. She's a Democrat congresswoman. He's always playing the race card. She's trying to be like the new Jesse Jackson. This election was a complete rejection of everything on the left. Now, what I'm going to talk about today on the radio, on the mainstream today, So if you're new to my channel, by the way, my name's Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. Make sure you subscribe if you're new. And if you're already subscribed, do me the favor of sharing the video and liking the video if you don't mind. But I'm going to talk about Matt Gaetz today. You know, he was reelected. He's not out of Congress. He's got a whole term coming up. And Steve Bannon agrees with me on this. He talked about it quite a bit yesterday, Bannon, that Matt Gaetz should report to Congress with the new Congress. He's been elected. He's got a term ahead of him. There were interviews with constituents in his district, and they love him in his district. Matt Gaetz should not take this, you know, they released that report, which they don't do. It's filled with slanders. It's not true. I know it's not true. And I talked about that yesterday. I talked about the Gaetz report not being true on my podcast last night, but I'm going to talk about it again on the radio because Matt Gaetz, there's no reason for him not to report to Congress. He was just reelected. You know, they released that report. And what's sick about it is these Republican establishment creeps released that report. You know, I mean, come on. I know he's got this deal with One American News, but I would rather have him in Congress. He's very important, Matt Gaetz. You know, report to Congress, run for Marco Rubio's Senate seat in 2 years, go to the Senate, but run for the Senate while you're in the House. I mean, I'm going to talk about that and take your calls on it because I think it's, without question, what he should do. Who cares if the government shuts down? The government, it's Christmas Eve, right? The government's shutting down today. It's basically already shut down. All those government workers are already off work. And if they show up to work today, they're working half days. The government's going to be shut down today, tomorrow, most of the next month because we've got Christmas and New Year's. The government's shut down. The inauguration, Washington's overrun with people for the inauguration, so it's basically shut down for the month of January because of the inauguration. If the government was shut down, you wouldn't even know it. Every time I water the hedges, my cats are in the windows watching me, trying to figure it out. What am I doing? They like to watch the water, I guess. Yeah, shutting down the government's an awesome thing. Everything still functions. The only thing that really gets affected are things that the payoffs to the donors. That's the main thing that gets affected. Nothing that you and I deal with gets affected. It really doesn't. It's nonsense. Big con job. Yeah, Merry Christmas, everyone. I will live stream on Christmas tomorrow. I always do. Yep, the post office would still run. Everything would still run. Don't believe any of that crap. Social Security checks, Medicare, everything still runs. Military still operates and gets paid. Don't believe any of the lies they tell you. You wouldn't even know it. That's why they panic. Because if the government shut down, people will notice. The government's shutting down. It's Christmas Eve. The government is shutting down now. In fact, it's shut down now. It's 3:46 a.m. on the East Coast. The government shut down in Washington right now. It's not operating. Yeah, Mike Johnson, you know, they're saying that Trump is pissed off at Mike Johnson. So if Trump's pissed off at Mike Johnson, he's screwed, but I'd have to hear it from Trump first. You never know. You can't trust these reports. There's a lot of fake reporting that goes on. Well, the new budget is in March with Trump. It'll be much different than this thing. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Legally, you don't have to be a member of Congress to be Speaker, but they're not going to let that happen. Are you kidding? It'd be nice, but they're not going to let that happen. I can't talk in the world of fantasy like we're writing a Tom Clancy novel. You know what I mean? I gotta talk about what's realistic. I know a lot of people are talking about Elon being the speaker. That's just not going to happen. It'd be nice, but it's not. So, I mean, what's the point? I try only to talk about things that are going to happen, that are realistic, not fantasies. I mean, I might as well talk about Dungeons and Dragons if I'm going to talk about that, right? I'm watering my hedges, those of you that are just joining. I do this some mornings before I leave. These aren't all the hedges I'm watering, but these particular ones where the cold a couple weeks ago damaged some of them. Well, Pence is out, thankfully. But Mike Johnson's in some trouble, no doubt about that. Letting this go through? Come on. I know we're going dark MAGA here, guys. Dark MAGA. Dark MAGA mode. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. He's a U.S. citizen. He's a naturalized U.S. citizen, Elon. And he could be Speaker of the House, but they're not going to let somebody be Speaker that's not a member. Just not going to happen. Liz Cheney's in big trouble. She is in a lot of trouble. She's in more trouble than she realizes. She's very arrogant, you know. I mean, look what her dad got away with, right? How many people's lives have been destroyed over her dad's lies about WMDs? No, we don't have any iguanas in my yard, believe it or not. There are iguanas in the neighborhood, but I've been able to keep them away from my yard, thankfully. No, Liz does not know she's in trouble. I mean, she's been raised in a criminal family of war criminals, right? She's a lot like Joe Biden. She's such a criminal. She's criminally insane. She doesn't even know she's a criminal. She doesn't know there's another way. She said this is just how life is. Just like the Bidens. Nah, I'm not going to eat an iguana. There are iguanas in the neighborhood. Some of them are very big. You'd be surprised how big iguanas get in the wild. Liz hates Trump. You know, Liz Cheney's a lot like, what's her name? Mary Trump. Liz feels that Trump and the MAGA movement stole her birthright to be a ruling member of Congress. That's what that is. She was inheriting from her father these positions in Congress that she feels she's entitled to. And, you know, plus her family are the military-industrial complex. So they don't like that he ends these wars, you know, that they make all their money off of. Exactly. It's amazing how many text messages I get. I'm getting text messages like crazy. Because everybody knows I'm up, so people that are up that know me send me text messages at these crazy hours because they know I'm up. Now, this is the best time to water the hedges. Best time. Oh, yeah. She lost big time, too. I mean, it wasn't even close. It was not even close. I'm almost done. But no, don't be ashamed of putting America first. That's what you want. Why would you not want America to be first? Why would you not want the president to put America first? That's just crazy. I know it's uncomfortable for a lot of people because we haven't had that for the most part, except Trump's first term. But get used to it. This is more than just winning. It's America first. Yes, I'm in dark MAGA mode. Welcome, everyone. Merry Christmas. Are you guys going to be up tomorrow if I live stream? I hope so. I get up early every day. I'm sure I'll get up early tomorrow, and I will live stream. Oh, it's almost 4. Almost done. You never know. There might even be news on Christmas. With Trump, there's news every day, right? You'll be up tomorrow morning? Awesome. We haven't decided exactly what we're doing for Christmas yet. Since our daughter's not going to be here, things are kind of up in the air. Well, there are Democrats in Florida. I mean, that's just the way it is. There's Democrats everywhere. Where are there not Democrats? I mean, we're a red state, but, we still have some blue areas, unfortunately. That's the way it is. Does anyone else do yard work at 4 o'clock in the morning? I don't know. Probably just me. I'll probably do some weed pulling, not today, tomorrow. Yeah, I can't tell these bushes on my hedges that were damaged from the cold. I don't know if they're going to come back or not, so I'm trying to get the ones next to them doing very well. Maybe to fill in the space, because I hate to get them replaced, because, well, it just won't match. Yeah, well, I'm watering the hedges. I wouldn't consider this lawn work. All right. Turn the hose off. Welcome, everyone. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. My name's Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. There we go. Just turned off the hose. They have all the lights off outside. My neighbors probably think I'm nuts. Well, guys, I'll see you in a little bit on the next stream. Thanks for watching. Take care.